ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साई ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साई ईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। Sai Ram, wonderful Sunday, wonderful Satsangh awaiting us. Thanks to Haryana bringing in all these wonderful souls. So I've got to let Haryana do the honors of introducing Brother Tribhuvan today.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Pranams at the lotus feet of beloved Bhagawan. Tribhuvan, forgive me, I won't read out your biodata. But what I should tell from my heart, I'll share with our brothers and sisters of Singapore. Shri Tribhuvan Sachdeva was my batchmate. First batch we all belong to. A wonderful singer. He was singing in the divine presence. A brilliant orator. Very talented dramatist. Of course, Swami brought that out. He acted as Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and also Surdas. Swami doesn't select people just like that. Unless until that type of qualities are there, Swami doesn't select people. But Tribhuvan is one of the finest souls, always a joyful person and a very intelligent person and a very devout person. And we were all too close, enjoyed Swami's proximity, and Tribhuvanji was liked by Swami so much. And as Surdas also he acted. As Surdas was blind to the world and contemplated on the Lord Krishna, Tribhuvanji also, his concentration is on Swami, not only then, even now. From that time till today, Tribhuvanji is same. And we have very great memories of living with Swami. I can only say this much, that the love for Tribhuvan Sachdeva I always carried from that day till today is the same, a humble, simple, profound human being. I only pray to Swami, please Swami, speak through Tribhuvan and give us all divine nectar in this satsang. And Tribhuvanji should share his wonderful experience with all the brothers and sisters of Tribhuvanji. Thank you, Tribhuvanji, for coming and being with us. I welcome you, and please take over, share your lovely, lovely experience. Jai Sai Ram. Thank you.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my most prayerful salutations at the lotus feet of my most beloved Lord, Bhagawan Baba. Respected brothers and sisters and dear friends, it is indeed an honor for me to be addressing this elite group via the services and good offices of Brother Hariharan, who's been virtually like my guru in the field of music and a friend otherwise. He has always guided me very well, encouraged me. I was never very confident about my singing, but with a person like Hariharan, one could make do anything. So he's one of those real gems of a person which Bhagavan has given us. So I thank him first of all. I have a predicament at hand today. Brother Venkat was very warm and nice to me when I asked him that what subject should I be speaking on? And he gave me the freedom to choose whatever subject I could take upon. Now that's an onerous task, because when you are supposed to speak on a subject of your own choice, you really do not know what to speak on. And as I was mentioning to them before this talk formally began, in this last week or 10 days, I was lucky to have a lot of opportunities to speak to youngsters, to teachers, to elderly people, to devotees, all different strata of Swami's devotees, if I can say so. Today, yet again, I have another very good and a very warm group here with me. So I was thinking, what should I be speaking to this group? In certain groups, I have spoken experientially, mainly about how you came to Bhagavan, how Bhagavan kind of, chiseled you into becoming a good human being, which you are still trying to be, and how Swami took care of everything. So these were the basic gist of the talks. So today, I thought, let me venture out and let me experiment a little on something different. So I thought, I prayed to Bhagavan, and when I pray to Bhagavan, I say it with the purest of feelings to him, that today, I am going to be the microphone. What you hear is not Tribhuvan Sachdeva. I am just going to be the microphone who's going to only make sure that the sound of Bhagavan reaches you from the cores of my heart. And the topic which I have decided to speak upon today is, how do we know that we love Sai? We all claim that we love Sai, don't you? Don't we, all of us? But how do we know that we love him? And why do we love Sai? The question is, I asked myself from the last 2 days, why do I love Swami so much? And then the thought process got going, and I got a few answers. So I thought, maybe as co-travelers onto this path of Sai, let us discuss on why I love Sai. Now, before we go on to this main stream, I noticed that before we started this talk, Brother Venkat and all of us chanted Om Karam 3 times. Now, why do we chant this Om Karam 3 times? Swami had once said, when we were very young and we had just joined Swami's college, Swami said, when you chant the first Om Karam, I come out of my room or I come out of the place wherever I am. When you chant the second Om Karam, I reach the spot where you are sitting. And when you chant the third Om Karam, I come and occupy the seat which you have kept for me. So Swami says, when you chant Om Karam thrice, that means you are dialing the number of God. Now, don't say that you do not know the phone number of God. It is very simple. Just chant Om Karam thrice, and Swami said, I will be there in a trice. That is what it is. And in those days, in early 60s and 70s, there used to be a telephone in Bangalore, and there were a lot of devotees who would call up Swami on the telephone. And those lucky people could, address Swami on the telephone. And if they had any problem, they could address Swami on the telephone. But I think in this modern age, right in the early 80s itself, Swami told us that doesn't matter if he doesn't hold the physical telephone with him, but he's giving us the telephone number so that we could be in constant touch with him. Now, why do I love Sai so much? Now, when I talk about why, love, and Sai, these 3 seem to be the most important aspects. Why? There is a big question mark. All right? Love and Sai. Now, love is the most misunderstood of all emotions. It could be infatuation, it could be attraction, but we call it love. But when we look at Swami, but when we experience Swami, we get to taste a little bit of that divine love which he had come to give us. Swami says often that love is like an energy. And then how does he explain it? He says, if you have a tennis ball in your hand, and if you were to stand against a blank wall, and if I ask you to throw the ball against the wall, if you throw it softly, the ball will come back to you softly. You throw it a little more hard, the ball will come back to you harder. You throw it with all your might, and the ball will come hitting at you, and you may have to probably move around here and there to escape getting hit by the ball. Swami says, love is exactly like that. You have to be the first person to hit anyone with the love. So that love, if you hit ever so softly, it'll come back to you slowly, gradually, and softly. You hit it a little hard, it'll come back to you harder. You hit it really fast, and it comes back to you, pouring onto you. So the problem lies how you hit on love, how you give that love to people, how you throw love at people. So it depends totally on your strength, your ability, and your desire to give and share love with people. And then I had read somewhere, it was Khalil Gibran, the Lebanese poet saint. Swami would often in his discourses in those days, in 70s and 80s, mention Gibran in his discourses, which is very, very surprising. Swami hardly quotes anybody. So I am reminded of what did Gibran have to say about love. He said, love is the prince amongst feelings. He did not say king. He did not say queen. He said the prince amongst feelings. Why the prince? I mean, prince is not all powerful. It is the king who's all powerful. It is the queen in case of UK who's all powerful. But then why do they want to be the prince of all feelings? And then he explains, because the prince is handsome, the prince is young, always, and the prince is full of strength, full of courage, always willing to go and save anybody who comes. So amongst all the emotions which a person possesses, love is the finest of emotions which God has given to us. And Swami says that this one emotion, if practiced sincerely, it can be the biggest tool in your hands. People would turn like putty in your hands once you have love as your tool in your hands. We probably defend ourselves with our arguments, with our skills, with our knowledge, but we leave love somewhere behind the window, and that's where the humanity suffers. So if you want to have a win-win situation always, have your heart loaded with love. So why I love? And now what is Sai? Sai is formed of three letters, S, A, I. S stands for see. A stands for always. I for inside. See, always inside. That is what Swami says. When you start seeing inside, you will find there is nobody bad. There is nobody ugly. There is nobody indifferent. They are just a part of the same speck of which you are made. So, we start a small little journey on why I love Sai. I questioned myself this. And funny answers came. I hope you will excuse me if you find that it doesn't suit your wise judgment. But then, as a small little student, which I am in the field of love, I thought, let me question myself and probe myself why I love Sai so much. And then, when I asked myself why I love, so the first statement which came across to me was, when I came and witnessed Swami, I had doubts. Is he really God, as they claim to be? Is he really all powerful? Is he really almighty? Then how come he's 5 feet 2 inches, so small in height, yet eyes full of love, that beautiful crown of hair, and when he walks, it looks like he's gliding on the air, maybe a few inches above, and not walking on the floor as you and I do. So when I watched him closer, I realized he thundered onto me. And when I asked Swami, Swami, who are you? And he says, with full authority, I am God. And I watch him with my wide eyes. And then he puts a comma after that statement and then says, but you are also God. And I'm floored. No godman, no saint, no other person in the history of mankind has thundered with this kind of surety and assurance that I am God and you are also God. I know it, but you have yet to realize this. This fact, this conviction, no one has been able to portray it in such a sense as Bhagwan has been able to do it. I'm reminded when we were doing this play of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa once. So, in one of the drama, in one of the dialogues, Vivekananda asks Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, have you seen God? Because he had asked this question to innumerable saints and sages, and nobody could say answer in yes, because none of them had experienced God. But when he came to his guru Ramakrishna Paramahamsa to test him, he asked him, have you seen God? And he spoke with that supreme confidence, yes, I have seen him, and I see him as clearly right now as I see you next standing before me. So that was the confidence of a God-realized soul. And here is Bhagwan, who is verily God himself. So I loved him for the statement when he said and proclaimed, I am God, but then he made sure by reminding me that all of you are also God. It is just that God particle has to be brought about into your system so that you realize, and that is precisely why I have come onto this earth, to make you remember your true identity. No other person has ever said this. Then I asked Swami, till the time I'm able to discover my identity as a soul, which is also God, which also has a God particle in it, which also is but a speck of you, is also a part of you. And as Swami has said, I have separated myself from myself to love myself. No other person has again stated this, that I have separated myself from myself to love myself. Oh my God, that supreme declaration, it pierces your heart so much that it reminds you that he means business. It is not just words, barren words he's talking. He really means it. Then I pray to Swami and I ask him, Swami, till the time I realize I'm God, and now that you are not there in the physical form, where can I find you? Where do I find you? And Swami says, you want to see me? Serve the poor and the needy. Go to them, serve them, and you will find me in plentiful there. I will be there in every inch of the place wherever you will offer your services. That is the assurance which comes to you when you close your eyes and pray to him. That is the first reason, dear brothers and sisters, I realized why I loved him. Then I asked him, what could be the another reason for loving Bhagwan? And out comes a reply from my heart. Because he's probably the only God, the only Guru, the only Master who does not ask me to change my religion, to change my God, or change my Guru. He tells me constantly, if you love the form of Krishna, you pray to him. If you love the form of Jesus Christ, you pray to him. If you like Lord Rama, you offer your prayers to him. You don't have to change your guru or your God to come to me, to pray me. I will answer all your prayers through them only. He doesn't even ask you to come and accept him as his guru. Because the first condition is, when you go to any great sage, saint, guru, God, first thing he says is, you must put your faith in me. But here he says, put your faith in the God you like, be it Allah, the merciful one, be it Guru Nanak, be it Jesus Christ, be it Ma, be it any other form of God, but have full loyalty for that God. And when you have that full loyalty for that God, for Guru, I will answer all your prayers. Well, I would say Fairly open God we got. Thinks very widely. Doesn't look like narrowing down onto smaller things that I am the only source and I will only show you the way. He says, no, your religion teaches you. I am there to answer your prayers through the God you pray. Wow, what a lovely God. Then again, I thought about it. What other reason is it that I love Swami? And then it comes to me that he accepted me in spite of knowing all my faults and all my shortcomings. When I came to him, when Bhagavan sent me into this world, he had sent me spotless. But then I had dirtied my clothes, the white clothes which he had given to me. And I'm reminded of that bhajan of Hari Om Sharan, which Hari Bhai also used to sing with us. Meli chadar ओढ़ के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारे आऊं. So when I came with that meli chadar in front of him, he still accepted me. He knew what my faults were. He knew what my shortcomings were. Yet he accepted me as I was. He did not say that you need to go to the Ganges. You go to Ganga, take a dubki there, dip yourself into the holy water, pour water on yourselves, then put vibhuti on your forehead. Come to me, take Naam of Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram 1008 times, and then you come to me, and then probably I'll accept you. He accepted me with the same old dirty clothes I came with, which I had dirtied in the process of being born and being raised up. He accepted me as I was. He put no conditions. He did not tell me anything. He just told me one thing, that if you come to me, there is one condition. Love all and serve all. That is what I expect of you. So come to me. I'm there to love all. You are also part of me. I will love you. Serve all. You're also part of me. I will first serve you so that you can go ahead and serve people. I said, wow, this is great. I mean, he knows I'm a crook. He knows I'm not such a great guy. Yet he accepted me as his devotee. He accepted me as his disciple. He accepted me as a student. Wow. It needs a lot of guts, a lot of courage to accept all these degenerated and broken down cars and get them in the workshop for repairs. And that's what he went about doing it. Why do I love you, Sai? Another question. Then the fourth reason which came to me. You will pardon me the reasons I'm giving you, but these were reasons which came to me spontaneously and I'm sharing them with you. Why I love you, Swami, is when I came to you, I still did not become perfect. I would commit mistakes more than once, twice, thrice, but you always forgave me. You always forgave me, Swami. Not once did you point out my error in public. Not once did you tell that here is a sinner sitting in the portico. Not once did you point out in the public that this guy is good for nothing. I have brought him to me, but yet he sins. He does wrong things. I come to him like a small little child, who's been given a test to write. And when I'm writing the test, I realize that I've dirtied the paper, the question paper, the test paper. I've put in a lot of ink on it. It's all blotting everywhere. And I don't know how to write on it now. So very sheepishly, I go to my teacher and I tell my teacher, I'm sorry, teacher, you had given me this white paper to write the test, but I have dirtied it here with spilling of ink and other things. Can I get another paper? So the teacher looks at me. Okay, son, I know you have a lot of capability. I will give you something. I'll give you another paper, but make sure don't commit the same error. And the teacher gives me another paper. Now I have become a grown-up man. Now I have been given a test by God. I fail miserably in it. I go again with that blotting paper and the dirty paper to my God who's sitting, the mighty God, on a throne. And I tell him, God, I muffed. I flunked. I have dirtied this paper. What do I do, God? He looks at me gives me a loving tap on my cheek and tells me, give that dirty paper back and take this good paper, clean paper. And what is that clean paper? That is yet another new day he's giving. He's telling, forget your old day. Whatever you have done, whatever mingling you have done, whatever muddling you have done, forget that. I'm giving you yet another day to prove yourself that you are good. Don't worry. You have it in you. I'm forgiving you. I'm willing to relate to you that you will do errors when you do something. It is only if a person who's trying to walk will he fall. It is only if a person who's trying to ride a bicycle that would he fall. It is only when you try to swim would you know how difficult it is. So I'm willing to give you another chance. And he gives me yet another chance, yet another day, and proves that yes, he's willing to forgive and forget. That is another sign of divinity. Then often, I'm reminded of an occasion. Swami would go and sit amongst devotees, amongst VIPs, amongst children. And when he would be so much of love for all of them, he would call them Bangaru. So being new to Telugu language, I asked one of my friends who was sitting next to me, why does Swami use this terminology of Bangaru? What does it imply? He says, well, Bangaru in Telugu means gold. And you are gold. That's what Swami wants to say. When once or twice he told me Bangaru, my ego knew no bounds. I said, wow, I'm gold. See, even God appreciates, even God acknowledges it. But when I come back and see myself in the mirror, again the same song rings into my ears. Meli chadar od ke kaise, dwar tumhare aao. Then I know that it is not gold. Then once I happened to be sitting with a learned person and I asked him this question. I said, sir, did you ever get a chance to ask Swami why he calls Bangaru? And he said, yes, I did have an opportunity. I asked Swami, why do you call people Bangaru? Does it mean to say that they have turned into gold? Swami smiled. And you know what a beautiful reply Swami gave? Swami said, well, when I call you Bangaru, it doesn't mean that you have become gold, but that means I aspire you to become like gold. That's why I'm calling you Bangaru. That means I'm reminding you, you are not yet there. You have to be gold. So when Swami calls you Bangaru, that means he's aspiring all of us to become like gold. And if you have to become like gold, you have to go through fire. You have to go through hammering. You have to go through beating. You have to go through everything. Only then you will be turned into an ornament. And only then would he accept you as an ornament to either decorate his neck, put it in his wrist, put it in his fingers, or maybe adorn it in his hand, whichever way he decides. All of us claim, that, oh, we are instruments of God. I have a pen in my pocket here. That's my instrument. I write it with. When I take out that pen and put it aside, does the pen complain to me that, oh master, why art thou not using me? Why art you picking up that beautiful red looking pen? Why are you ignoring this stale looking pen? Does the pen complain? No. But when we call ourselves this instrument and Swami ignores us, or the organization ignores us, or the elders ignores us, or the people around ignores us, or the friends ignore us, we feel justifiably angry and upset. And we question Swami's wisdom in doing it. But then you have asked yourself to be an instrument. Instrument doesn't speak. Instrument doesn't complain. Instrument just keeps himself fighting fit, always ready for action. Whenever the God calls you, I should be there at his service in my best possible way. There are no two other ways. He's not giving you any alternative in this. These are your tests which would happen time and again, which all of us have to go. And one last part. Why do I love Baba? Thankfully, it's the last one. You wouldn't have to really bear with me for too many reasons. So why do I really love Swami? Why I love him so much. This is probably the best reason. Because he first does something, he becomes a shining example first, and then he asks me to do it. First be, then do, and then tell. The three golden words of Swami. First be good, then do good, and then tell people about good. Somehow, we have not understood this dictum of Swami. We do it in the reverse way. We tell people about good, like I'm doing right now. Then do a little bit of good if I can to impress people that, look, I'm doing good. And when it comes to being good, well, only Swami or I know how good or bad I am. So, brothers and sisters, we need to reverse this whole process wherein I have to be good first. See, Swami tells you to do Namasmarana. What does he do when he gives you a discourse? After that, he sings a beautiful bhajan. Hari bhajan bina sukh shanti nahi. He's reminding you that do Namasmarana. I'm doing it for your sake. When he tells you to do Narayan Seva, the first Narayan is served by his benevolent hands. See all the pictures in all the Brihad Narayan Sevas which you are having, the huge Narayan Sevas. Swami will go with the first spoon, serve with his own hands. Why? Because he's first telling, be good, do good, then tell about good. But we probably don't do that way. So then, these are the 5 main reasons, why I love Swami so much. Because he's different. He's not like the other gods. He's so different. Maybe you may probably have more reasons and you may have more understandings. But like I said, in my little understanding or whatever I could understand, I prayed to him and I got these reasons with him. Now, after having said those 5 reasons about why I love Sai, the talk is over. But then Brother Venkat told me, he warned me, you have to speak for at least an hour and a half. Don't try to take shortcuts. Okay. So then I said, what are the take-home points here? What are the take-home points? Here I am very greatly announcing to the world why I love Sai. But what is your take-home point? So let us see what are our take-home points here in this. First point, Swami says, I am God, you are also God. So what does it imply? Does it imply that I should start behaving like a god? Start wearing a robe of Bhagwan, come out for giving darshans to people and say that I am the one whom Swami has chosen and give darshans to you? No, probably not. This was not what Swami had meant when he said that I am God and you are also God. What he meant was that you must try to see that spark of divinity in Brother Venkat, in Brother Hari, and all the brothers and sisters who have joined us also today. Try to see that spark of divinity. Why say that only Hariharan is good and Brother Venkat is not so good? I haven't known him. Try to discover some divinity, some spark of divinity, and I'm sure you will get so many reasons to find goodness in everybody. It's just that we close our eyes. We just say me, myself, and I. That is what we are interested in. No. When he says, I am God, you are also God, that means he wants you to find that spark of divinity into everyone, even those people whom you dislike. There comes the catch point. Are there some persons whom we dislike? If you were to ask me this question, I'll be the first one to raise my hand. Swami, in spite of all your love I'm trying to practice, there are still some people whom I really dislike. I don't know why, Swami. Probably it's their mannerisms, it's the way they behave themselves, it's the way they conduct themselves. It's just that they're pulling my leg, or maybe, Swami, they're trying to put me down, or whatever reason. It could be any childish reason or whatever, but there are people whom you dislike. Now, Swami asks you a very simple question. Let us say you have a neighbor whom you totally dislike and you don't see eye to eye with him. He's also a Swami's devotee. You are also a Swami's devotee. Okay. Now, he lives in the lane, somewhere down the lane. And every day when you go to the office in your car, you probably cross his house and he has a Swami's picture outside his house. So every time you cross his house and you see Swami's picture, so what do? You immediately bow down and pray to Swami. And if there is too much traffic, you'll just close your eyes and do a quick namaskar and then say, oh, that fellow, I don't know why he put Swami's picture there. But then, do you recognize Swami's picture and bow to it or not? Or do you say, oh, no, this is in my enemy's house. Why should I bow down to Swami's picture? You don't do that. Even if you dislike that person, but if you see Swami's picture in his house, you bow down. What are you doing? You're bowing to that divinity. Swami said similarly, who is this person whom you dislike? He's comprised of thoughts, of habits, of mind, but in his inner core, he is Brahman. He is God. How can you not like him? How can you hate him? How can you dislike him? See that Swami in him. And when you see that Swami in him, the Swami in him will respond to you. I can share one small little example. I'm a tax lawyer by profession, you know, and practicing in income tax is a very difficult aspect of practicing there in India. And there are times when my clients are not correct. They've been wrong, but I have to be pleading their cases because I have to prove my words to my client. And when I go and argue the cases in front of the tribunal, in the judges there, they are like, at times when they know that you are on a weak wicket or a sticky wicket, they will be very aggressive. Mr. Sachdeva, I have giving you only 5 minutes. Please say whatever you have to say. And what is this? What nonsense of a case is this? Do it fast. There's hardly any point in this you have to say. And then they are virtually, I call them, they're like bulldogs who pounce on you. And then what do? You have to look at them and say, Swami, I'm here to do my job. You are here to do your job. Please forgive my client if he's done any errors. But Swami, he's in a very bad situation today. I plead you humbly that please hear me out patiently, after which whatever you give, I'll take it as your prasad. The moment I make a silent prayer, that bulldog-like person cools down. And he said, okay, you argue, we'll listen to you. And then they hear you out fully. And the moment that prayer goes and you see Swami in them, you are very surprised that at the end of the day, most of the times, you get a very positive response. Why? Because again, you are witnessing divinity. You are recognizing Swami in them. You are not recognizing as an aggressive officer or a judge who's sitting there out to probably hang you. You say you are Bhagawan, you are Satyasai, you are my Lord. Lord, please hear me out. This is my pliant case I'm putting forward to you. And I realize Swami helps you. Don't quote me on this, lest I lose all my cases. All right, so this is one technique. I normally use it for doing it whenever I find this kind of a problem and predicament I face myself. What is the second take home? The second take home is, does not ask me to change my guru, God, or religion. So what is he trying to teach you? He's trying to teach you Sarva Dharma Sambhav. That means he's trying to teach you to accept all religions as they are. Don't try to give your wise comments on what they ought to be doing and what they not ought to be doing. Just accept them as they are. They are only following what has been told to them. You just follow your path. You are not sent here on this world to correct everyone. It was George Bernard Shaw, who said, basically what happens is all of us want to correct the world. We probably feel that now that we are devotees of Bhagawan, Bhagawan has given us that power to go and correct the world and change the world. So, for such people like me, George Bernard Shaw has said that forget about the world, just change yourself and you can be sure there would be one scoundrel less in the society. So that is how it goes for all of us. If we just change ourselves, there would be one scoundrel less and all of us would be in a much better footing. So what Swami is teaching us by asking you not to change your religion is, he's teaching you about unity of all faiths. He's teaching you about respecting all faiths. He's telling you that accept people as they are. This is what I understood. Then the third point of loving Swami. He loved me and accepted me in spite of my shortcomings and faults. So what is he trying to do here? Swami said, when I accepted you, knowing very well that you are a liar, you are a lazy guy, you have anger filled up in you, you also are probably a miser, and you are not a good human being, yet I accepted you, yet I tolerated you, yet I trained you. So what is your take home on this? Your take home on this is, when you find people who are not acceptable to you, who are faulty, who have problems, whose cars are either neither good looking nor well performing, who probably look like damaged goods. Learn to accept them as they are. Develop patience. That is what Swami did with all of us. He had to spend 85 years on this earth to stand where he is. And we are still standing firm on our ground. We refuse to become good. We said, Swami, you may do what you like. Get Prema Sai on, maybe then we'll change. But not just for Satya Sai to change us. This is how we are. We think no end. So he says, he teaches us by this take-home point is, when you find imperfections around you, when you find people are not as good as you are, accept them. Be patient. Still love them. That's what he did to all of us. And maybe one day, with your love, with your patience, with your faithfulness, they will probably improve. This is what Swami wants you to teach. This is what Swami wants us to learn. Now the fourth point. Forgives my mistakes and gives me yet another chance. I tell you, it used to be a very trying time when we were students and we used to commit some errors and we used to try to hide behind boys, but Swami would go and find us like he would find a needle in a haystack. You will try your level best to hide yourselves amongst, 7 curtains, but if he wants to locate you, he would do it. There would be times, I'm reminded of one occasion. I can share it with you because you're all my brothers and sisters, and I don't feel ashamed telling you that I still am a very imperfect human being who's still trying to probably follow Swami. It was my first year with Swami and the first holidays which were declared. And I went down to my town for my first holidays. And just before I left, Swami called me and he said, Ramakrishna, come here. He used to call me by that name because of the play. So he told me, Tum ghar jata, abhi friends ko nahi milne ka. Theek hai? Old friends ko nahi milna. Go. Swami blesses you. Swami told, you are going home, but ensure you don't go and meet your old friends. Now, it was a very difficult task. After 1 year, I'm coming back home from Swami's college. All my student friends are calling up home every day that when is Tribhuvan coming? When is our friend coming? When is he coming? When is he coming? My mom and dad are saying, yes, he's going to come. He's going to meet you. Now, Swami tells me, do not go and meet your old friends. Probably he realized that the sapling which he has planted and the protection which he has given around him is yet weak. It needs a little more watering of time on it so that it becomes strong. And he did not want me to get affected by my bad company, which I was keeping here. So I tried my level best not to meet any one of them. However, one day when I was going to be with my uncle, I was going on a two-wheeler on a scooter, which my dad had got me. Suddenly, one of my old friends who was crossing the road near my house, he called me by my name and stopped me. It would have looked very rude on my part to have probably waved him off, and I did not know what to do, so I just stopped my scooter. I stood with him, I called up and talked to him. There were a few girls also around him who came and spoke to me. And after that, nothing much about it, and I came back home. When I reached after my holidays, Swami would not speak to me. He would not acknowledge me. Wherever I would sit, he would take a U-turn and go somewhere else. I knew something was wrong, and I couldn't point my finger. What? Swami asked me not to go and meet my friends. I did not go and meet. If they stopped me on the way, well, I couldn't be fined. I couldn't be foot faulted for this. So then one evening, Swami came. Tum dost ko jaake kyun mila? He told me. So I said, Swami, I did not meet. Hey, main tumko bola, unko jaake nahi milna. I told you not to go and see them. Why did you stop your scooter? I had no words to say. Humne tumko chance diya hai. Take part namaskar. Don't repeat this mistake again. Severe warning from God himself. See, it was a foolish error on my part to have done it. A young boy of 18 who could have strayed. But then Swami called me, forgave me for my error. And then I realized if I go home, it is virtually impossible for me to meet my friends because they would get to know from somewhere or the other and they will come to see me. So what is the solution to it? The best solution to it is stop going home in holidays, stay with Swami. So for the next 3 years, I did not go home. All the holidays were spent with Swami, wherein he would give you interviews, he would talk to you, he would love you, he would give you fruits to eat, he would call you for lunch, he would take you in his car. What else do you want in life, sir? These are small things which Swami would give. And once, when I finished my graduation, and in the first year of post-graduation, when I was going back home, Swami calls me and tells me, "Abhi tum friends ko jaake mil sakta, koi baat nahi." Oh, so it dawned upon me that now Bhagwan is confident that my faith is not shaky. I'm not going to get influenced by any of my rowdy friends anymore now. He knows for sure that probably what seed he has planted has now probably started taking roots. And he permitted me to go and meet my friends. Not that I went out of the way to meet them, but yet a few of them came and I did tell them all about Swami. And they were amazed at what has happened to this guy. He was once upon a time like us, going on the motorbikes like stray dogs onto the streets of the town, going for movies, going for rock concerts. My total life could be summarized in one line. My life was all about jeans, jazz, and junk. That was what life was all about. But then Swami changed and transformed it totally. From street dogs, he virtually made us street lamps. This is what is the greatest miracle which Swami did. So when the point I'm driving you here is that when Swami can forgive your faults, the take home point is when you find people committing errors, committing faults, learn to forgive them. You were also forgiven once. You are not perfect. Swami forgave you. So when you see people are imperfect, people in the organization are not doing things correctly, people say, "Oh, when I have the time, I'll do it." So don't get angry on him. By love, guide him and tell him what our priorities are. Whatever you may do, don't lose your temper. Don't get angry. Learn to be patient with them. And, when we don't forgive people, we become like monkeys. Have you heard the story how you become a monkey? Well, I'll give you a story on this. There's a management principle. It says holding a banana. You know, there is a jar which has a very narrow opening. You place a banana in it and you call a monkey. The monkey will come straight away, put his hand into the jar and hold the banana. Now, try it would, but it cannot take its hand out. Why? Because his hand is now in a fist and there is a banana in it, and the banana is not vertical, it is horizontal, and it cannot possibly come out of the jar. The base is wide, but the opening is narrow. But the monkey does not leave the banana and take his hand out. Instead, he will fight and struggle, and then the guy who wants to trap the monkey comes and traps him and takes him with him. That is a poor story of a monkey. So what happens with us is when we get angry, we are not willing to forgive, we are not willing to forget the errors of others, we become a monkey holding the banana. We hold the banana of, "Oh, this guy criticized me 5 years ago. Oh, this guy is always trying to pull my leg. Oh, this guy has been spreading charades about me. Oh, this guy is probably a liar. He told my boss all lies about just to get a promotion. Oh, this, oh, that." For every person whom you are not forgiving, you are holding a banana in your hand of that person. Forgive him and let go of that banana. The moment you let go of that banana, you are free again. You are free of that vice. You are free of that burden. You are free of everything. So you are a human being. Why do you want to become a monkey, and that too holding a banana which you can't eat? So dear brothers and sisters, always be a little more patient. Learn to forgive and forget and move on so that you don't become like a monkey. And the last bit. What is the take home when Swami says, be, do, and tell? That means, what do you be? What do you be? Swami says, be, do, tell. What does Swami want you to be? So, what does Swami want you to be? Swami wants you first to be a good son, a good brother, a good husband, a good employee, a good boss, a good neighbor. In short, a good human being. Be a good human being. Do good things. Tell everyone about goodness. That is what Swami tells us. But then what do? Like I said, we don't follow it exactly, but then Swami is a great God, a great Guru who has given us a very simple formula. You want to be good, first be good, do good, and then tell good. Very simple and straightforward. Now, The take homes are also over. But I realize, oh my God, the watch doesn't seem to be moving very fast enough. So what do I talk further now? So then I thought about it that, okay, there will still be time. So let us talk something more. Now I know why I love Baba. I also have got the points. What are the take home points after this? Now what do I do? Sir, tell me, what do I do now? Then Swami tells me very confidently, very lovingly, very beautifully. He tells me, my child, now you become a little bit of Satya Sai Baba. Oh my God, what an onerous task Bhagavan wants me to do. Swami is telling me that you become a little bit of Satya Sai Baba. Swami, how do I become Satya Sai Baba? I can't wear your robe. I can't grow those hair as it is. My hair have gone. And who would want to have my darshans? So how do I become a little bit of Satya Sai Baba? So then Swami says, well, why did you come to me? What was that one single point which attracted you towards me? So I said, Swami, your love. Your love, Swami. Your love was the one which attracted me so much. So my dear child, Swami says, you become a little bit of Sri Satya Sai Baba and start giving unsullied love to people. Start sharing your love with everyone who comes across. Love has to constantly flow from you, like a spring which flows nonchalantly. I said, Swami, it sounds very nice. Thank you. Very philosophical too. And very encouraging, because it's coming from you that I must become a little bit of Satya Sai Baba. But how do I do it? How should love constantly flow from my persona? Then Swami said, think all those qualities which enamored you, which you were around me and you learned. Do those with with other people. So I thought, what was that one quality which I've learned in my life and I practiced? And then I realized, oh, the greatest point which Swami is hinting at is, how will love constantly flow from you? How will people know? See, you might look like Amitabh Bachchan or a Shah Rukh Khan or any other film star of your choice. But the moment you open your mouth, people know what you are. Is it this fact or not? You might look probably the most handsome human being on this earth, the most beautiful lady God has created. But the moment you open your mouth, the world will know your truth. So what should you do when you open your mouth? Talk sweetly. Let sweet words flow out of your mouth. So what you should be doing is talk sweetly to everybody. And this one point which Swami tells, you may not be able to oblige everyone, but speak obligingly. And trust me, I made this my Guru mantra, that I try to speak obligingly and sweetly to one and all. And when I say I'm trying to do that, well, I try to do that with my spouse also, though I fail sometimes miserably. But then, well, like I said, I'm learning. All of us are. So you have to learn to talk sweetly with everybody, and more so with your spouse. I hope my spouse is not hearing. Otherwise, she'll barge down and say, he's the last guy to be doing that to me. But well, yes, we all have to do our mistakes and learn from them, and then probably get back onto this. I'm reminded of a very beautiful little anecdote, which probably you like. See, this is the way I speak. I'm absolutely informal, and I don't believe in keeping formalities when you're talking to people who are on the same wavelength as everyone is. So there was this great king, in a place, and for long he had never attacked any other kingdom, and he realized that his army was probably gathering rust and dust. So he realized that we must make a war practice session in his kingdom. So one day he announced to his person there, one who was in charge, his Senapati. He called him his commander-in-chief, and he told him that please ensure that the total army goes outside near this village, and in that village there is a huge ground, and we must practice warfare so that we are in practice and we don't run out of practice, just in case if we are attacked by any other kingdom. So the army starts marching towards that village. And when they reach the village, they reach a crossroad, 4 ways. And they don't know whether to turn right or left. They knew it is either right or left. So suddenly, all the sepoys, all the sipais, all the soldiers who are there, they look around. Whom should we ask for the route to go? Unfortunately, there was no Google Dev Maharaj then to guide them that where they have to take a turn. So they saw that under a tree there was a blind person like Surdas Maharaj, and he was singing beautifully. Prabhu mere अवगुण चित न धरो प्रभु मोरे अवगुण चित न धरो समदर्शी है नाम तिहारो चाहे तो पार करो प्रभु मोरे अवगुण चित न धरो. So he's singing oblivious of the fact that a huge army has come. So a soldier goes to him, 2 or 3 of them. Arey, oh, blind man. Hey, stop your singing. Hey, shut up, shut up. Hey, listen. Hey, where is that village where we are supposed to go for our war practice? Can you guide us? He said, oh, you must be the soldiers in the king's army. Sir, you please take a left spot. Ah, okay, thank you. And then the soldier turns and goes back. Now the army has reached its spot. After a little while, it is a commander-in-chief who comes on his chariot. He also reaches that crossroad. Again, that blind person, the Surdas Maharaj, is busy singing with that iktara and that kartal in his hands. Prabhu more avgun chitna dharo. And then he asks him, oh blind man, do you know where my army turned? Did it turn right or did it turn left? He said, oh, you must be the commander-in-chief. You take a left turn and you go. He says, oh, thank you, sir. And then he takes a left turn and goes away. Now, after about an hour or so, the king himself decides to oversee how the warfare is going on, how the practice session is going on, and he follows the same track. He reaches the same spot, and again he realizes that he's lost. He doesn't know whether to turn right or take a left. So he sees that blind person, the Surdas Maharaj, sitting under the tree. And then he stops the chariot. The charioteer says, Maharaj, can I go and ask him? He says, no, he's a blind person. A Surdas, you don't go, I will go to him. So he goes, he folds his hands and says, Surdas Maharaj, can you please tell me, my army and my commander-in-chief, where have they gone? Have they taken a left turn or have they taken a right turn? So the blind man, without blinking an eye, he says, King, please accept my humble salutations. Take your left turn and keep going straight and you will reach where you are. The king turns, says, thank you, Surdas Maharaj. How do you know I am the king? Oh, no, sir, you are the last one to come. First, your soldiers came, then your commander-in-chief came, and now, king, you have come. So the king knows that this guy is a fake. He's trying to be blind, but he can see I am the king. And he's telling me categorically that the soldiers came first and the commander-in-chief came next. So he asks him, how do you know that I am the king? And then he waves his hand in front of his eyes to see whether this guy is really blind. And he sees he's as blind as a bat. And then he asks him, how do you know? He says, sir, I have been a Surdas right from my birth. How do I know who has come? When the soldiers came, they told, hey, blind man, where should we go? So their mannerisms told me that they are crude soldiers. When your commander-in-chief came, he shouted a command on sitting on his chariot, oh, blind man, where should I go? But he was courteous enough. So I knew it must be the commander-in-chief. But you, O king, you walked down to me and you pleaded with all sincerity. And you said, Surdas ji, where should I go? So I knew it can be only one, but the king. I cannot see, but I judge people by the way they speak. So this is the greatest lesson which Swami teaches us, that talk always sweetly with everyone you come across. You do not know what is the problem he is facing. He may misbehave with you, but restrain yourselves. You may not be able to oblige him, but speak obligingly. Then, what else should I do? Then there is one more point. Be a very good communicator. You know, Swami is an excellent communicator. Is he or is he not? Yes or no? He is, definitely. If he was not a good communicator, you and I wouldn't be sitting here listening to his glory. We would have probably put him somewhere into the attic and forgotten about him. But he's a great communicator. And what is a sign of a great communicator? That he transfers his messages to you. But then a great communicator is also a very great listener. He listens to your problems. He doesn't hear your problems. There is a difference in hearing a thing and listening a thing. When you hear, so Swami says, idhar se suna, idhar se nikala. You are hearing. You enter from here, you get out from here. But when you listen from both your ears and retain it here and give a solution. So Swami is a great listener also. But you would say, well, he's God, so he ought to be a great communicator and ought to be a listener. How has he proved to you that he's a good communicator and a good listener? How? Have you thought about it ever? I'll give you a small example. When you pray to God, what do? You are talking to God. You are communicating to God. So what is he doing? He's listening to you. The dialogue is yet one way. When you pray to Swami and say, Swami, do this for me. Swami, do that for me. Swami, I am your student. Swami, I am your child. I am your devotee. Please, Swami, please do, please this, please that. So you are communicating. You are opening a dialogue to him. When does he answer your prayer? You are praying, so you are communicating to Swami. When does he talk back to you? So Swami says, when you pray, you talk to me. But when you meditate, I talk to you. So the two important aspects of our being here are, I must constantly pray and I must constantly meditate so that I can listen to what he's saying to me. He's there within my heart. That voice is yet very weak. I have to strengthen it with the discipline of meditation. And when I meditate, he talks to me lovingly. And when he talks to me, I hear him loud and clear. Because in that Brahma Muhurtam or in that early morning, there is no telephone, there is no spouse, there are no children, there is no business, there is nothing for you to attend except to attend to yourself and your God. So can't you spare that 10 or 15 minutes of communication and making it complete? We normally do a walkie-talkie system wherein we throw everything at Bhagwan, but when he wants to answer you back, we switch it off. Why we switch it off? Because we don't meditate. So we don't listen to his voice. And we say, over. And Bhagwan is repeating every time, okay, listen, Hari Bhai, do this. But we say, okay, over and out. Hey, he's not answering that. But then he's communicating. We are not willing to listen. So when God talks to him, we have to do it. So I would want to come to the last very important point. If I have to be a little bit of Satya Sai Baba, I have to be like him. I have to love all, serve all. I have to talk sweet. In short, what do I need to do? So the last point is very important. Swami says, just follow me. My life is my message. Do what I have done. Just do that. You don't need to go probably stand on one foot on the foothills of Himalayas and probably do tapas for next 50 years and then God will be happy and give you moksha. No. He says, just do. You are all worldly people. You are all sansaric people. You are all men of the world. You are men and women of the world. I have shown that path to you. Just follow that path and you will reach. And what is that path? Swami, please tell me what path should I follow? You have shown me the path, but tell me the path also. No, again, I mean, I need constant revision, I have this ability to forget. I have just heard why I love you. What are my take home points? I have understood all that, Bhagavan, but please tell me, what should I do? Huh? So tell me, what should I do? So now I'll give you a little bit of an experiential touch into this talk here by telling you what happened with me. Swami says, with God, communication or prayer is the most important aspect of your relationship. Just as food is important for your body, prayer is important for your soul. Meditation is important for your soul. So, Swami, I pray to you. Don't we all pray to Swami? We all do. So, when I was a young boy, hardly 18 years of age, even I used to pray very fervently to Swami. And I was somehow not wanting any worldly things from Swami. And those were the days when in the evening, Haribhai will remember, we used to have darshans. Swami used to wait for us to come and sit in the mandir. We would have darshans followed by bhajans, which we would go and attend inside. And after the bhajans, some of the boys would come and sit in the upper portico because Swami would be having his dinner. And some of us would be inside in the meditation hall meditating. And once the meditation would be over, then we would gradually come out and park ourselves in that upper portico. And then Mr. Khyaldas would come gradually and tell us, Are Swami gai upar. And then we'll go crestfallen, Are Swami is gone. And there would be days we'll see Mr. Khyaldas opening the door and softly saying, Swami hai abhi. So that means our eyes would light up. Oh, Swami is still down. There is a chance that he might come out. And there would be days he would open the door himself, and instead of Mr. Khyaldas, it would be Bhagwan. And he would look around who all are waiting for him, who have not gone for dinner. And we would be waiting there, and then he would bless you with an Abhay-hasta and ask us to go, have dinner. And then we'll go running, join the line which used to be standing in the outside the old hostel, and lined up to go to the canteen there, which was there. So I would go every day for the meditation session in the evening. And after the meditation session would get over, I would come near the Dashavtar gate. Then it was a Dashavtar gate, because that time there was no Kulwant Hall, there were sands everywhere. And opposite the Dashavtar gate, there was a beautiful statue of Lord Ganesha in white marble with a red background. And very cute looking. I still have that picture and photograph of that, because that Ganesha ji has a very important role to play in this anecdote here. So every day I would go after the meditation session, bow down at the statue of Lord Ganesha. And when I'm touching his feet and doing a little bit of Pada Seva, I would tell him, Lord, I pray for Vidya and Sadbuddhi. Lord, grant me Vidya and Sadbuddhi. Why would I ask and pray for Vidya? Because I was given to understand in one of the discourses which Bhagavan said that if you pray for Vidya, that means Vidya is like an ornament. Knowledge is that ornament that no thief can take away, no person can snatch it away. Wherever you go, you will be respected because of your knowledge. So I asked for Vidya. And why Sadbuddhi? Because if I have Sadbuddhi, then I will know how to walk the right path always, and I will be able to walk the path which Bhagavan has shown. So I prayed for Vidya and Sadbuddhi, Vidya and Sadbuddhi, Vidya and Sadbuddhi. It went on, this love affair went on, this communication went on for 2 long months. Swami also must have been sick of hearing this Vidya, Sadbuddhi. Even Lord Ganesha, he's got such big ears. He would have been listening every day. This fellow comes and tells me, give me Vidya, Sadbuddhi, Vidya, Sadbuddhi. So that was what I needed. Then one day Swami called us for an interview, and he made all of us sit around him. And that day's discussion was the power of prayer. And Swami was talking how it is very imperative for you to pray correctly to Bhagavan. And then he gave us an example. He says, pointing out towards the foreigners who were sitting all around and all the devotees, he said, do you know who these people are? And we smiled at Swami and foolishly replied, yes, Swami, they are your devotees. No. Then he looked at, who are these? I said, Swami, they are foreigners. No, they are not foreigners. They are far near to me. You call foreigner, I call far near to me. So then he said, you know what am I? I am the beautiful lotus flower when it blooms every morning. These devotees, these foreigners, they come in the shape of a bee. They come and sit on me. They take all the nectar from me. And then they go down and build their nests in America, in Singapore, in New Zealand, in Bombay, in Bangalore, in Kolkata, wherever they go. And they build their houses. But you know, when there is a lotus flower, there are beautiful green leaves also. And you know who sits on those leaves? Someone said, Swami, frogs sit on that leaf. I said, yes, very well said, my child. And you know who the frogs are? We said, no, Swami, we don't know. You all are the frogs. You sit near the lotus, but you do not know the importance of the lotus. You do not know the inner essence of the lotus. You have the darshans of the lotus, you have the nearness of the lotus, yet you sing in your own repetitive tones and go back into water. But be like a bee which comes from far distances, takes my nectar and builds my home. So be like my devotees. What a beautiful message Swami gave to all of us, that you don't have any ego, that Swami has chosen you to be near him. You are nothing but probably frogs. Then that evening, as he was talking about prayers, he said, you know, all my devotees, they all are perpetually pestering me with something or the other worldly only in their prayers. All my devotees, he mentioned it, all my devotees, they're all asking worldly things from me. They ask me for money, they ask me for power, they ask me for car, they ask me for bungalow, they ask me for marriage, they ask me for child, they ask me for employment, all kinds of things. Somebody wants name, somebody wants fame, somebody wants power, somebody wants to become a minister, minister wants to become the chief minister wants to become the prime minister. Everyone in their prayers is constantly asking for worldly things only. And then he pointed towards me. I was sitting right in front of Swami. Then he pointed towards me. But there are certain devotees here sitting. And he said, who don't ask any worldly things from me. And he looked at me. They asked me for Vidya and Sadbuddhi. And then he looked at me and said, no. And I said, my God, Swami, what are you doing? You're telling in the whole public what I have been praying to you. I said, yes, Swami, I was asking for Vidya and Sadbuddhi. And thank God I did not ask for anything worldly. Otherwise, I would have got a hammering from Swami. And then Swami said, well, there are certain devotees who don't ask for anything worldly. They ask for Vidya and Sadbuddhi. No. Then I said, yes, Swami, we do that. Then Swami said, why do you ask for name, fame, power, money, bungalow, car, Vidya, Sadbuddhi? No point. Today I will teach you what you must aspire and ask for in your prayers. So we got a little more closer to Swami. Then Swami said, you know something? If you ask for money, you will only get money. You will have no peace of mind. You ask for name, you will only get name, but no fame. You ask for fame, you may only get fame, but no money. So if you ask for car, you may get only car. I may want to give you a bigger car. I may want to give you a helicopter, but you are asking for a car. So I'll give you a car only. So Swami said, do not ask for any worldly things from me. If you have to ask, just ask for me and me alone. He thundered, just ask for God and God alone. And why? Because it is God who holds in his hand name, fame, power, money, car, bungalow, aeroplane, position, everything he holds. So if you ask for me, I give you everything. But if you ask me for those trinkets, worldly trinkets, I only give you that. So you decide, what do you want to ask? From that day, it has been a genuine effort on my part not to ask for any worldly thing. And when I look back at my life, I feel so blessed that probably I may have aspired X, but what I have got is probably X square, X cube, or even more. That means Bhagwan gives you more. Or he says is that develop that purity. You develop that purity and ask for me and me alone. And then you see what all I'll give you. I'm waiting to give you and give you all this. And then he gave a beautiful example to us. And he said, during the war of Mahabharata, Lord Krishna was sleeping one afternoon. And that time, Duryodhana came to him and he sat near his pillow. And 15 minutes after that, Arjuna came and he sat near Lord Krishna's feet. And as Lord Krishna got up in the afternoon, he opened his eyes and saw Arjuna right in front of him. And he said, "Oh, Parth, when did you come?" So Duryodhana cleared his throat and said, "Swami, even I'm sitting here." He said, "Okay, son, come and sit in the front." And then he said, "Why have you two come?" Though he knew very well why they had come. So Duryodhana broached the topic and he said, "Lord, this war of Mahabharata is going to be fought. We are concerned on whose side would you fight. So you please tell, I have come here first, so please give me the first choice to select that you fight from our side." So then Lord Krishna said, "Look, it's very nice that you came here first. You will definitely get the first chance to ask me, but there is a precondition. On one side, I will be alone. I will not fight. I will put my weapons down. And on the other side would be my army, my horses, my chariots, my weapons, my elephants, my camels, everything, all the soldiers, they will be there with you. So what do you want, Duryodhana?" So Duryodhana thought for a while that there could be no one as a superior and a greatest warrior like Krishna. But when he's not going to fight, so what use is he going to be to me? He's going to be merely advisory. So for giving me advice, I have Bhishma Pitama, I have Dronacharya, I have my Mama Shakuni, and so many people, my friends Karna. So I'd rather take his army so that my strength grows. He said, "Lord, I will take your army." Arjuna fell down crying at Lord Krishna's feet. And he said, "Oh Lord, I only wanted you. And I'm thankful to Duryodhana that he took your army and not you. Because I know for sure that the victory will only belong to that party in whose side Lord Krishna stands." And we are a witness to this. Swami said that when Krishna came onto the Pandava side, what did they do? They won the war of Mahabharata. They got name, fame, power, money, kingdom, wealth, riches, and what is more important, the Gita Gyan. Nobody else could have got it. Arjuna got it. So Swami says, because it is raining right from Dwapar Yuga, that when you ask for God and God alone, you will get everything in your life. So dear brothers and sisters, if at all we need to practice our prayers, they should be full of Swami, Swami, and Swami only. Because when he's there on our side, nobody else can stand any chance to do anything. Then one day, Swami said, there are times when you pray to me, but you realize that your prayers are not reaching me. Is it not correct? We said, yes, Swami, there are days when we pray to you and we realize that our prayers are not reaching because you don't answer. Swami said, when I don't answer, doesn't mean your prayers are not reaching me. Your prayers are reaching me, but I am choosing not to reply. Why? Then we said, Swami, we don't know. You tell what could be the reason. Swami said, if you want to write a letter to Swami from Singapore, you will write to Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Post Office Prashanti Nilayam, District Anantapur, Andhra Pradesh, India 515134. And then write name K.R. Venkatraman, so and so, and write and then post that letter. Now the letter travels all the way from Singapore to India. But when it comes to Swami, Swami says, I will refuse to accept that letter. Why, Swami? He's done everything. Brother Venkat has done everything correct. He's written your correct address. He's written his address. So everything is clear. Why will you not accept that letter? He said it's very important that he forgot to affix that postage stamp on it. If he does not affix the postage stamp, that means I have to pay double the postage stamp to the postal department. Why would I pay and accept your letter by paying double the amount? Let anyone who sends a letter affix that postage stamp. So we said, fair enough, Swami, you are right. But what has that got to do with prayer? He said, similarly, when you pray without any personal sadhana, then your prayers do not reach me. The personal sadhana are that postage stamp which you need to affix on all your letters. And what is that personal sadhana? Again, Swami said, Namasparan and meditation. Japam and meditation. Just do this. When you do personal sadhana, automatically all your prayers reach me directly and very conveniently and as fast as a plane probably, which you all want. And time is running short, but I'll quickly sum up a couple of things which I wanted to do. Then one day, Swami came again in the evening and asked us, if you do regular Namasmarana, what do you get? So we said, Swami, you only told us in Kali Yuga, if you do Namasmarana, we get God. So Swami will get you. Oddu. Hey, what is this? When discourse, Swami says you do Namasmarana and you get me. And now he's asking me, and what do you get when you get Namasmarana? And I'm telling God. He says, no, you will not get God. And he said, Swami will reach moksha. You will not get anywhere, Swami told. Then somebody said, Swami will reach your feet. Swami said, you're already near my feet. How near do you want to be? So, all kind of answers were being thrown around. Swami's reply was, Neti, Neti, Neti. Then Swami said, listen carefully. When you do Namasmarana regularly, do you know what do you get? You will gain Chitta Shuddhi. And when you get Chitta Shuddhi, you get the ability to see that God particle hidden inside your heart. You can communicate to God directly just as you are communicating to me. That is why I tell you, do Namasmarana, and that is the only way to reach Godhead. And Godhead cannot be achieved till you get Chitta Shuddhi. So what a beautiful way to explain by an anecdote why we should do Namasmarana. Because today we are talking only of whys and hows only. So one small little why and how. Okay, whenever the children would have birthdays there in Puttaparthi, we would all promptly sit down with a tray in our hands. On one vessel, we would have the lavang, on the other we'll have elaichi, and the other sweets, and on the other some groundnuts in it. And Swami would come and said birthday, and then he'd lovingly pat you, give you Pad Namaskar, then take one piece of lavang, put it in his mouth, and take a hand fistful of sweets and throw it at the gleeful boys who would accept it and jump and grab and try to grab as many sweets as they can in their hands. And Swami would laugh at that game which he would play. But when we became lecturers, we could not sit there with the trays in our hands. So lecturers, what they would do is they would put a rose flower in their pocket and they would wait on the side. When Swami would go to the ladies' side, then come onto the gents' side, and as he would finish darshan and start walking towards the interview room, the people sitting there would take out the rose and offer it to Bhagawan. Swami would accept that rose gleefully, and he would ask, Aaj kya hai? And then he would say, Swami, my birthday today. Birthday, Chisko. And Swami would move a little bit, lift up his robe, and allow that lecturer to have Pad Namaskar to his heart's content. And you will see that the lecturer will first put that rose either in Swami's feet or hold it in Swami's hands, and then kiss his lotus feet, and then, virtually probably feel blessed, and Swami would pat him and then walk out. Then one day, it was the December of 1985, the 60th birthday of Swami had just got over. One of our lecturers, I was also a lecturer, so I was sitting then with the lecturers there. So one of our lecturers' birthdays it was. And as Swami walked past towards him, he said, Swami, and Swami stopped. And he had a beautiful rose in his hand. And Swami said, yes. He said, Swami, my birthday today. Chesko. And Swami gave him Pad Namaskar. And as he got up, feeling very contented, he looked up at Swami, and Swami said very lovingly, how old are you, sir? And now this professor of ours, he was 50 years of age. He had total gray hair and a big paunch. He was slightly on the plumpy side, and he had all gray hair. Luckily, I don't have any hair, so problem of graying will be less. So, but that time he had all gray hair. So Swami said, how old are you, sir? So he said, Swami, I am 50 years old. Swami said, you are 50 years old and I am 60 years young. Look at you and look at me. In 50 years, your total hair have turned gray. In 60 years, Swami said, not a single strand of gray hair. Until the time I am there on this earth, I will never have to color my hair. They will not turn gray. I will never have to wear specs to read your letters. I will never have to go to a dentist to show my teeth. And I will look much younger than what I look. Even when Swami was 60, he used to look 40. So, then Swami said, why is it this that your lecturer looks more than 50 and I am 60, but I look so less? Again, similar reply, Swami, you are God. And Swami, God comes in the human form. Even his body decays and degenerates, and one day he has to leave the body and go. But why is it that Swami's hair are thick, your hair are thin, your hair are gray? You use spectacles, you have to go to the dentist. Swami doesn't need to do all that. Swami has strictly maintained the weight of 53 and 54 kilos for the last 15 years. Why? We could not guess. Then Swami said, should I tell you? Do you also want that your hair should grow thick? Do you want your hair not to grow gray? Do you want that you should also look younger? Now we knew that Swami is talking. Now he's talking something here which we all want. Who doesn't want to look always young, bright, beautiful, handsome, good looking? So we all said, Swami, we all want to look. Swami said, simple thing you have to do. Inculcate purity of thoughts. Just inculcate purity of thoughts. Swami, while sleeping, in waking stage, while bathing, while reading your letters, while giving darshans, while sitting, is generating pure thoughts for the human beings. He's always thinking of good of everyone. So when he thinks of good of everyone, he thinks he is energizing his body. He says, not that my hair don't fall. Just as your hair fall when you comb, when I brush my hair every day, even this much hair falls every day. But what happens? Your hair grow like a grass. 2 here, 3 here, 1 here. But my hair, they grow like a sugar cane. Thick. And why you never see a bald patch on Swami's head? Because he always encourages and inculcates purity of thoughts. Again, he said, Chitta Shuddhi. If you want to inculcate all this, think pure thoughts. Think good thoughts. Let good thoughts come from all directions. And when they come from all directions, you would have virtually become a little bit of Shri Sathya Sai Baba. Now, just as a parting shot, before we leave, I thought I would have more time and probably speak a little more, but maybe as Bhagavan wishes on some other time. One question I would like to put up to all my audience here and all my listeners here who have been sitting and listening to this. Do you want to be happy? How many of you want to be happy forever? All of us. There is no person on this earth who does not want to be happy. Isn't it? Yes, I agree. So all points to all of us. Now, Swami has given us a formula of happiness. Do you want to know what is the formula of being happy? So I'll tell you that formula of being happy. Very simple formula. See, I have taught students, and these students are rogues. They want to know only formula. E is equal to mc square. So the rest we will do ourselves. You tell us the formula. So Swami knew that, so he gave us a formula. So what is that formula? He says, if you want happiness for 1 hour, go and take an afternoon siesta. Don't attend to the talk of Tribhuvan Sachdeva. Go and have an afternoon siesta for 1 hour and you'll get up happy, contented. Oh my God, after lunch I slept for 1 hour. So you get 1 hour of happiness. You want to get 1 day of happiness? Don't go to the office. Take your family for a picnic and come back late in the evening. You would have got 1 day of happiness. But you see, sir, this 1 hour and 1 day is too less. Little more. Okay, you want 1 week of happiness? You go to a friend's place or a relative's place with your family or without your family, whatever gives you happiness, and stay there with him. You will be very happy for that 1 week. And you ask yourself, yes, if 1 week I go and stay outside at some relative's place or a friend's place, wow, it'll be good. But if you want 1 month's happiness, then go to some exotic location for a holiday, where probably your employer is going to pay you and you live in a 5-star resort where there is sun, there is sand, there is beautiful, everything is there, and there is nature, and there are you and your children, your wife, your spouse, everybody is beautiful, everything is just perfect. So you go for 1 month, you get 1 month of holiday. Do you agree? All right. Now, if you want 1 year's happiness, Swami says, get married. Get married and you will have unsullied, unstoppable 1 year of happiness for sure. After that, it is in your hands at your own risk. But then, jokes apart, then Swami says, if you want 1 full lifetime's happiness, then you must learn to love what you have to do. If you learn to love what you have to do, you will be the happiest person on this earth. Don't crib that I have to work as a housemaker. Don't crib that I have to work as a chartered accountant. Don't crib that, oh, I have to be as a software engineer. Don't crib that, oh, I have to be a musician. Don't crib for anything. Learn to love what you have to do. And there could be no one more happier. And Swami wants each one of us to be happy, happy, and happy. So let us pray to Swami and pray with our core of our hearts that Swami, please help us become a little bit of Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Thank you so much. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Arina, we're lost for words. Uh, Brilliantly summed up from the start as to what was to be delivered. It was good that there was no preempters on what you had to speak. So Swami had a message for all of us. So thank you so very much for this 1.5 hours of reminding us of the love that we get from Swami and how we have to give it back to him by loving ourselves, loving what we do, and no words fail to describe how wonderful these Friday and Sunday satsangs are in this COVID situation. Thanks to Hari Anna. Anna, would you like to say a few words? You're muted, Anna. You're muted. Can you unmute yourself, please? Yeah.
Yeah. I have. Sai Tribhuvan, Sai and Sai. It was so nice that every word of yours were very, very, very valuable. And at the end, like crisp jewel, you told one point which everyone should remember. That is, learn to love what you do. So if all of us, whatever is happening, if we learn to love that, that means our lifelong happiness. Tribhuvanji, I'm so happy, I'm so proud, I'm so blessed that we were batchmates, of course. Next time we should share your experiences. But so much you gave, heartful for us. We are ever grateful to Bhagawan and to you for agreeing to come and talk to our Singapore brothers and sisters. You are such a wonderful, great soul. You really filled our heart so much. Once again, our thanks and gratefulness to Swami and to you. Thank you. Sai Ram.
Sai Ramanna, Brother Tribhuvan, we are already having requests to have you address the gurus. So the rest of all the other facets of your involvement with the Sai organization from the start of your Balvikas, and hopefully one day we would be fortunate to listen to you as gurus. You had also mentioned that you have been talking to gurus and conducting workshops the last week. We hope that too will happen sometime very soon. Thank you very, very much, everyone. We will finish off with 21 Samasta Lokas. Brother Tribhuvan has got one more satsang in an hour's time, so I should let him have his tea before that. So we'll finish with the 21 Samasta Lokas. समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु 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 समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शांति शांति शांति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। Sai Ram everyone, till next Friday when the next satsang will be. Looking forward to having all of you and getting those valuable lessons that seems to be trickling in every satsang. Thank you, Brother Tribhuvan. Thank you, Ariana. Sai Ram. See you all next week.
Sai Ram.